there is a lot of she did certain product placement in her own product throughout the promotion of the movie, and that got her a lot of people were not happy.
Yeah, that's not great. But as far as Ryan Reynolds, he is very, very conscientious of um, his PR and how he's viewed publicly. And I actually think he's really intelligent. Um, I get a good energy from him, and it's not just because he's gorgeous, but it does
Because
feel like
Justin is pretty gorgeous too. They're both gorgeous.
okay. But I do feel like he is supporting his wife privately, but I really don't feel like he has a hand in this. I don't think he's egging it on. I think he's kind of walking that line. I actually feel like privately, I think that it's a little bit like the situation we were talking about before with the woman who posted the uh
Jennifer.
the sandwich video. I feel like Ryan has really kind of tried to give her a heads up, and I feel like she feels like she knows better than everyone, so she's moving forward. And I don't want to like demonize her, but honestly, I feel like it's a matter of ego and her just not taking any kind of advice. And also, I don't like how I don't like people who, in hindsight, kind of rewrite what happened to fit their, you know, narrative or what works best for them. And I do kind of feel like that's what's happening here. That I honestly don't feel like Ryan is doing anything that oversteps what any husband should do for their wife in a tough situation.
Revisionist history. That's what they call it
Hmm.
when you
Yes.
try to
Yeah.
rewrite the facts. Right. So you don't feel this is like him or any, he's kind of just, and you almost feel you see similarities and although different between him and Bill Aiden, who's Jennifer's husband, of like Ryan's kind of like, I don't know about all of this. Like he's being a supportive
I think,
husband.
yeah, I think Ryan Reynolds is very charming. He's very attractive, but honestly, I think he's underestimated for how good he is at having a finger on the pulse of pulp culture and what people perceive and what people want. He's a master of fame, I would say. And for her not to listen to him, I think that she's really squandering a strong resource.
Like she's just taking matters into her own hands and we're doing it her way.
Hmm. Yeah. And honestly, I don't feel like anything is going to come of these lawsuits. I think it's all kind of, he doesn't want to be seen as somebody who is painted with that brush of, sexual abuse or being harassing towards his lead actress. And she also, I think, doesn't want to be painted as somebody who is insensitive. And so I think this is kind of her attempt to be the victim and his attempt to say, no, that's not accurate. And to be honest with you, it is drawing a lot of attention to the film. So I think at the end of the day, I don't see it going forward. I do feel like he is going to settle with the publication, but I don't see the two of them actually pursuing legal matters.
And do you see this as being an end? Look, I don't think Ryan Reynolds' career is ending anytime soon. Do you see this as like an end of a career for either, I guess, either of them? I mean, I think Blake is married to Ryan, so I'm not sure. I mean, he could just buy the rights to a movie, produce it, and hire an actress to star in it called Blake Lively. I mean, there are some
Mm-hmm.
factors there. So I don't know. But getting parts might like, do you see her being affected by this? Do you see him being affected by this? Like there was something similar with like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And I mean, it did have, I don't know long term, but it has had at the moment kind of ramifications on each of their careers in a way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was addicted to that trial. Let me tell you that.
See, I wasn't. I really just blacked out the whole thing. I care more
Mhm.
about this. I wasn't into, like, I just skipped over all of that. I didn't read it, but people were
Yeah,
very invested. Yes.
I usually don't, but something just flipped in my brain and I was addicted. But anyway, with
So, like,
this,
Johnny Depp isn't working. Now, I don't think he needs to ever
mhm,
work again. Amber Heard isn't working. So it's like it has affected their careers. I mean, at the moment.
yeah, I will say I think it's affected Amber Heard's more. But to answer your
Yeah.
question, I think Blake Lively, I don't see this long term affecting either one of them. Now, I think Blake is probably going to step back. It also feels like she genuinely wants to focus on her family and her children. It looks like she has a few. Um, but I think she's going to kind of focus on other things to kind of rebuild that public image. Now that I do think Ryan Reynolds is going to have a hand in kind of helping her because I think she's going to listen to him a little bit more. But I would say in the next couple of years she's going to come out with something else. Like she's not going to be gone that long. As far as Justin, really don't see this slowing him down a whole lot. Like, nah, I don't I don't see this being substantiated really. And it looks like all of these people are painfully attractive. So I think they're just still going to
Yes.
be doing fine. Yeah.
Yes. And this was kind of Justin was on a TV show before. And so Jane the Virgin, like this kind of is his big moment, so to speak. Like it's not like he had such a
Mhm.
big career, although I knew of him. And yes, they're all three of them are insanely attractive. So there's got to be
Mhm.
something in Hollywood for all of them. Well, once again, like we have so many more topics the next time you are back. I can just scratching the surface. Everything was so accurate. I mean, a lot of it, and very interesting too. I mean, very like I'm curious. I'm so curious to see where Paige and Craig end up. Everyone needs to go to the Psychic Source. Really, I love a reading any time of the year, but I really do love it in the beginning of the year. And people keep asking me. There's a lot of different types of readings. You could be looking for someone that has passed, and hoping to connect with them, or just wanting to see if anyone came through. I always like the business readings. That's just my personal. But a love
Mhm.
reading, like right, we could have every type of reading, and there's a lot of different types of psychics, and it's all your first reading is $20 for 35 minutes. And you don't have to stick with one psychic. If you're 5 minutes in, 3 minutes in, and you're just not feeling the vibe, you can end it, and then you have the rest of that money left over.
Exactly. And I would say my extension is 3587 if anyone wants to reach out to me. But I love all of the psychics. They all connect differently. And one tip I would give is to maximize your time. When I do a reading with my psychic, I take notes and points of things that I want to touch on. And you can jump from topic to topic within one reading. So yeah, just have fun.
So you can like sit there and say love, okay, and then you're hearing and you're like, all right, I'm over that. Let's just thanks. Let's switch. Let's career like this and that. So you could just do all that
Yeah,
within one reading, okay. And like I
exactly.
said, for anyone who has already had their first reading, which is a lot of people because people love to tell me about their readings, which is great. I love hearing about it. Now we have a second reading. Thank you, Second Psychic Source. You get 50% for free. It will just be in your bucket in your database when you sign up. So that's, I mean, I would get a reading every day if I could, if I had the time. I love a good reading. And I
Mhm.
also like when I hear something that is not necessarily what I want to hear, but I'm like, I agree with everything you're saying, and I kind of need to hear that. So I think it's great to hear other people in my DM saying that this wasn't just like a kiss
Mhm.
my ass, tell me everything I want to hear reading. I felt like I got what I needed, but it was a lot of the truth and it resonated. So I love that.
Exactly. There's no good or bad readings. There's no good or bad information because at the end of the day, you decide what becomes reality. It just empowers you to make changes if you don't like what you hear.
I love it. Well, listen, you'll be back soon. Thank you so much. Thank you for spending, time with all of us. And again, what was your
Thank
extension in
you.
case people want to find you?
3587.
They can reach out to you. Awesome. And enter code Velvet and you just click reading now. And that is how you get the $20. So take care. Sorry to keep you. Thank you so
Take
much.
care. No, I